Nathan MacKinnon thought they had it all to win last year, and honestly, hard to disagree with him. But they are now less Mikko Rantanen, more on some other people, and some notable additions this offseason. It's the Colorado Avalanche, who had 102 points last year, good enough for only third in the division, which kind of speaks to the have and have not nature of the Central Division in the West. The over/under on them with the with BetMGM right now is 105.5, and it's even odds, over or under.
Do you have it.
105.5?
Say it. Chum FM.
Oh, that's 104.5.
Shit.
Dumbass!
I thought it was 104.
105.5.
105.
For Colorado. Do you have them over or do you have them under, gentlemen?
That's a lot of points.
I think they're an extremely good team. I have them very high in that division. That is a lot of points. Under.
Jesse?
Under.
Under. Yeah. Okay. I'm curious to hear where you guys have them finishing in the division. Now, this year, they added a few guys. Specifically, Marty Necas, and who remains unsigned and has apparently rejected some contract offers. So I kind of want to get into that. You do have the addition of a guy who just couldn't play the last few years, Gabriel Landeskog, and we'll see what he can do this year if he's able to do a full year. Brock Nelson, acquired at last year's trade deadline, re-signed for $7.5 million. Very, very good player. But again, on the aging side of the 30s, he's 33. Let's talk about the Colorado Avalanche starting up front, which is their, it's hard to say it's not their strongest suit with Nathan MacKinnon up there. They seem to have enough, right? There's enough firepower here.
They're gonna add from within. Like, they're gonna get a full year out of Valeri Nichushkin, hopefully. You're gonna get a full year out of Gabriel Landeskog, hopefully. And those are two things you didn't have last year,
right?
You're not gonna have the upheaval of the Rantanen trade. You're just gonna have Necas the whole time, unless he's dealt, which is a little confusing. Jack Drury in the middle. I mean, they're gonna score a shitload of goals. They have. I know you said up front, but like Cale Makar was probably their second or third leading scorer.
Yeah,
he was the highest scoring defenseman in the league. He's an absolute monster. So I kind of count him amongst that. They are probably the best team in the league for, I'm channel flicking. I'm just looking around and, there's an Avs game on. You're never going to be disappointed whether they win or lose. They're so fun to watch all the time. And positively and negatively, no game of theirs is ever over.
Jesse, when you look at the Avs up front, yes, they have Nelson, Necas, Drury, some of these guys, and Landeskog back. But without Rantanen there, what a monster he was against them, specifically in the playoffs last year, even though this is a regular season preview, are they better?
Yeah, it's so hard to look at the lineup and think that they care at all about the regular season. Like, it's such an experienced group, and you say, like, this whole team is getting through 82 games just to compete in game one of the playoffs. So I look at how they're a little weaker on wing. They've kind of always been that way. Rantanen and MacKinnon hold up the thing, and Landeskog wasn't there the whole time. They've been trying to piecemeal that stuff together. So I'm unsure of like how good they're going to be in the regular season. They're obviously a playoff team. They're going to be one of the top ones, but I don't have them at the very top of the division. I think having Landeskog back now is a game changer. I wonder how his workload's going to go for 82 games, and that, like, if it's a thing they're managing as they go along, or if it's just like go full speed the whole time. So I'm interested to see that. So I think like Landeskog for me is, over the course of the season, the biggest thing that's different there in that forward group.
Here's why I think I maybe should have put them first in the division, and I might be wrong about the under. I don't know if you wanted to skip here, but this to me is the biggest regular season factor for the Colorado Avalanche. Last year, in 18 games for them, Alexander Georgiev was an 874.
Is that good?
No. But it is better than Justus Annunen, who filled in for 11 games and was an 872.
Oh, geez.
Both of those men had winning records.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
How do you win one game? How do you win two? How do you win? So Georgiev was 8-7. Annunen was 6-4. Scott Wedgwood, who's now their full-time backup, essentially did not lose. He was 13-4-1 with a 9.17. Mackenzie Blackwood, 22-12-3 with a 9.13. They're going to come out of the gate with that instead of having to literally completely change both their goalies before Christmas. And think of how many points.
They're the only team who's ever done that.
I know. So think of how many points you don't drop. Even though those guys had winning records, they drop points.
Yeah.
Think of how many points you don't drop just by virtue of actually having people who can stop hockey pucks.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy to think of. Okay, now let's talk about defense. Like, actually, this kind of dovetails perfectly because this Marty Necas stuff that's hanging around as of this recording, they're going to have to sign him, and it's going to be an expensive contract. The other guy they're going to have to sign, and it's going to be an expensive contract in a year, or at least next summer, is Cale Makar. He is going to be eligible next summer. He's got 2 years left as of this point at $9 million, but obviously you don't want Cale hitting the open market, do you?
No.
So the defense looks strong. Looks like it always kind of did. What do you think about those moves just before we get to the full defense? Do you sign... Do you make sure you sign Necas and then sign Cale Makar later? Do you hold back on Necas and then sign Cale Makar because he's going to be the bigger ticket and then try to get Necas done? Where do you go with this?
Oh, you're not thinking about it the right way. If Necas wants a certain number, you trade him. They're bold enough that we know they'll do that. You need to be able to afford Cale Makar, beginning, middle, end.
Okay.
And if this player, yes, it's the one that you traded Rantanen for, but if this player stands in the way of that, goodbye.
Jesse, you've got Makar, Taves, Gerard, Manson. Brent Burns is now there, which is going to be cool for the vibes. And Sam Malinsky, Keaton Middleton will see some time. There's other players that are coming up. What do we think of that defense core?
I don't mind it. Like, obviously, Cale Makar is the big piece there. Like, the defense is always going to be good because Cale Makar is a part of it.
Yeah.
You got Taves on the other side. I wonder how the Olympic year is going to affect the squad.
I wondered that, too.
Both of them are going, and both of them are going to be big parts of that Team Canada team. And
they'll be the top pair.
Yeah, like, I assume that's how they're going to play it out because it's Canada, and they got so many options too, but I assume they'll be the biggest factor. So I wonder how that affects this team and having so many guys in their lineup like McKinnon, Makar, and Taves being such big factors on Team Canada and having to have that in the middle of the season. You're going to ramp up for that, and then you got to ramp up again for the playoffs. I don't know. It's just a little factor I was thinking about with this team.
Necas is probably going to the Olympics. My assumption is Landeskog ends up at the Olympics. They're going to be a stacked team.
Yeah.
They're going to play a lot of hockey.
There's not really another team you look at in the league whose top two defensemen are going together, playing on the same team, who's going to be an X factor during those 2 weeks that the games are happening.
Between preseason, regular season, and the Olympics, there are going to be guys pushing 100 games by the time the playoffs show up.
But if anybody can handle it, it's Cale Makar and Mr. Broccoli, Nathan McKinnon.
Mackenzie Blackwood, Scott Wedgwood are the goalies, and as we mentioned, they remade their roster. I mean, San Jose was like, hey, this goalie's too good. We must get rid of him. And Colorado's like, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
That's literally what happened.
Yeah. It worked out pretty good for them. Good regular season, especially after all of that crap for the first couple of months. It just, the Forgiev and all that stuff. What do you think for these guys this season is a reasonable expectation? Are they a mid-range goaltending pair? Are they on the higher end? Because neither of these guys I would expect are like elite level goaltenders, but you still think, I'm like, well, it's not a bad pairing though.
They're on either the high end of average or the low end of good.
And that might be
they're good. They're good. They're not elite. They're good.
Jess?
Yeah, because if you look at what Steve was saying earlier and the transition to goaltending, Colorado from the beginning of the season until February 1st had a .585 points percentage. And then from February 1st to the end of the season, they're up at .690.
That sure feels like a lot more like them.
That's a team that transitioned its team as a whole over the course of the season, right? The trade deadline, they made so many moves. And then early on with their goaltending, they fixed things. As things went along, they fixed things and they got better. So this season, they're playing with that squad the entire time.
Right.
You got to expect that this thing with Blackwood now there, it's going to be a lot smoother smoother, and they'll be riding along that 690 for the course of the season.
Yeah. I mean, the stress it puts, like, your offense is capable of crazy things, but the stress it puts on your offense to be like, all right, it's the third period. We scored 4 goals in the first 2. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. 5 minutes later, we're losing. Mm-hmm. So, okay, we're going to go nuts. Like, almost every Avalanche game I saw, no matter how many goals they scored, featured a 6-on-5 situation. Almost every one I saw. Yeah. I would love to know. They might have spent more time at 6-on-5 than any other team in the league. The stress it puts on your offense, even though they're capable of it, that wears on you.
Yeah. So that brings me to this. Where do you have Colorado finishing in the Central this year?
It would not surprise me at all if they won, but I have them second.
Okay. Jesse Blake.
I have them third. Same place as last year.
I have them first. And the reason I have them first is...
I don't think this has happened yet.
If they don't... I don't think it has either. If they don't have that terrible start with their goaltending, they would have won the division. And this division is a real have and have not division. Like, I do think that they would have kept pace with the Jets. You don't think so?
Winnipeg won the Presidential Trophy 116 points. They were 14 points off of the pace. I don't think
7 wins.
I don't think the Fjord. Maybe, I don't know.
Winnipeg got goaltending the whole time. They didn't.
Yeah. You know? So that's where I have them. So Jesse, you have them second, third. Interesting.
Steve's second.
Second, yeah.
Very dangerous picks here. So that is your Colorado Avalanche season preview.